Last session we completed multi-hour configuration. Today we'll start with HRMS basic setups. So when you talk about HRMS basic setups, what setups we have to complete when we are going to work on the P2P cycle or O2C or say core financial applications. We'll see the basic setups. There are many setups which we have to complete as a part of HRMS, but we no need to do that because we are not going to implement HRMS application for our clients. Since we are going to work as financials functional consultant, our focus should be on finance. But to have some better understanding, we'll see the very basic minimum setups which are required, okay, to start using the HRMS application in the process flow called as P2P. Primarily, we'll see what setups required. So we know already we completed few setups from HRMS only. All the organizations, locations, business groups, and operating units and inventory organization. These setups we completed from HRMS application only. Okay. Now we'll see what very basic setups we require. Okay. So in HRMS primarily we require employee creation. Okay. HRMS application primarily we have to create employee creation. What is the reason why we require employee? When we are working on financial applications or SCM applications, why employee is required? Okay, when we are going to work on core financials, why we are trying to create employee here? The reason is when we are accessing to the system, we'll use some login credentials. Okay, in our classes we are using the login called as ERP tree. The ERP tree user should be identified by employee. Which employee is accessing the system by using the user called as ERP tree. Okay, that's how we have to specify in the system. That means every user should be associated with the employee. So when you associate employee with user or employee and user, okay, whatever, just finally we have to do the mapping between the employee and user. When you associate or say when you assign the employee to user, from that user, if you are trying to perform certain transaction, system can understand which employee is doing. In the organization, what are the privileges that employee has, those privileges will get applied from that user login itself. So to have a certain control on the process which is performed in the system through user login, okay, so for that reason we have to map employee to the user. So this is a point we have to understand. Anyway, we'll see the detailed process once we start with the actual process. Before that, we have to look after basic setups. We have to create the employee. When you talk about employee, it's a very basic information why we have some employee. Definitely there should be some job to perform in the company. For that reason only we hire the employee. We may hire the employee to work as HR. We may hire the employee to work as a buyer, or we may hire the employee to work as a salesperson or accountant. There are many reasons why we hire the employee. So for that, what we have to do is primarily there should be some jobs in the company. Fine. Once we have some job based on the skill set or based on their experience or based on many other parameters or criterias, we have to designate that employee. First there will be some job, there should be some job. Okay, I'll call job maybe something like manager, or job maybe buyer, a job maybe accountant, whatever. I'm taking simple example. Okay, so jobs, I'll take simple example as a job is buyer. We need one person in our organization to procure something what we need. So that is the reason, say we need one person to perform the job called as buyer activities. And we have to designate them in the organization with respective position. So generally we'll maintain the position, we'll have a position for the people. So position, when I say job is buyer, okay, we'll have jobs, but let me take a job. So job is buyer and position is say purchasing manager. Okay, so what purchasing manager will do is they'll perform the buyer related job. Okay, that means they'll be involving the procurement activities. So this is what just we have to understand when you are going to maintain the employee in the system. So definitely there should be job and position, but job and position not mandatory depending on the organization. Some organization they may have just job, the position may not be that much important, and few organizations position may be primary, job may not be, and in few organizations you see job and positions are very much mandatory to classify the employees based on their profiles and many other aspects. Okay, so this is what we have to do. First what we'll do is, before we go and create employee in the system, we'll create the job and we'll create the position. Okay, and we'll map job with the position. Finally the position will map to the employee. So when we have employee, that employee will have their so and so job and so and so position. That's how it works. As a process what we do is, first we'll create the job, and after creating job we will create position and the job will assign to position. Okay, after that what we'll do is, we have to create employee and this position we have to assign to employee. After assigning the position to employee, this employee we assign to user. Okay, this is how just we have to connect. That means our username is ERP3. So based on this connectivity you can understand, okay, ERP3 is so and so ERP3 user is used by so and so employee. The employee has so and so position. With that position, that employee will be performing so and so job. This is what we have to understand. So you may just directly create employee and you may assign to the user so that system will identify. But now we are going to work on purchasing application also to understand the basic process. There we set up some approvals. We'll be setting up approvals. To implement approvals concept, you have to use the job and positions. It's not mandatory we have to use two, but just for our understanding we'll see how to create job, how to create position, how to map with the employee. We'll see this process. So based on which approvals we are implementing, anyway we'll discuss and we'll work on it. Okay, now what we are going to do is, first we are going to create the job. You may create job as a buyer or else manager. When you say position, which manager, is and all you can specify. Finally all the job and position you can assign to employee. So this is what we are going to do in the system now. So the first task is create job. So when you look at organizations, if you look into, sorry, I may open here 1 second, because just you prefer to connect to the instance through Mozilla. Okay, Mozilla is a very friendly browser when you are working on the instance. So we have a user called as ERP3. Just navigate to human resources, HRMS. Just click on any one of the function to open the responsibility. Okay, so we created a business group. We'll go to that definition. So we created business group by taking the navigation as work structures, organization, description. Right, this is the navigation we taken, and we'll go and find our business group. Our business group name is ERP tree. Just tab out, it will display all. This is the one which we created. Select it and say find. And if you go to others, here you have a business group info. Just open it by clicking on OK. Just place the cursor in this field. Let system open that. Just place cursor in this business group info field. So here we have, see, job flex field structure, position. Along with that we have a grade, group, costing, competence. Okay, so these and all we are not going to talk about, just this, since these are very primary. Okay, very primary, so I'm talking about only job and position. There are many other flex field structures also, but you don't need to look into all those. But anyway, I'll just show you in the system how those can be managed. Okay, so I'm going to show you one point, but don't take anything what I'm going to show now. I'll show you once and I'll take you through the reference. After going through that, again we'll come back to this and we'll be working on it. So first I'll show you the navigation to create the job, but don't take that point, don't make a note, we can do it later. So to create the job, the navigation is work structures, job, description. So from this form we can create the jobs. You can find or else you can create new jobs. To create the new job, click on new, and here we have a job name. Place cursor in the job name field. So what system is doing, it is opening one job flex field. Okay, job flex field. What is this? This is job flex field structure name. What are the structure we given within our business group in business group info form. The job flexi field, you have two fields, job code and job name. These are nothing but two segments within job flex field. In our accounting key flex field, we have 6 segments. Accounting key flex field, or you can call it accounting flex field. Accounting flex field, as a part of chart of account structure, we created 6 segments. In the same way, within this job flex field, already 2 segments are created. Those 2 segments only you can see here. You may get doubt, here you don't see any LOV, but when you talk about our company department account, you can see the LOV where you can select the values. The reason is, that's how they created value sets for these 2 segments. We'll go and see that. I'll show you the proof. We'll just look into that and we'll come back and we'll create the job. Okay, so we cannot go to that key flex field structure from HRMS. You can go to any one of the application. It can be payables or it can be GL, any application, but I'm just going to general ledger responsibility. And if you want to go to the structures, you have to take the navigation, setup, financials, flex fields, key, segments. Just click on find. So we want to see which flex field information, job flex field belongs to HRMS, means human resources. Just type here human resources. So we are talking about job flex field. Here application is human resources, title is job flex field. Just say OK. So within this job flex field, you have many job related structures. However, we have multiple chart of accounts structures within our accounting flex field. So please tell me, any one of you, what structure we selected as a part of business group definition. What is the structure name we selected? Anyone? Anyone, please? What is the structure name we selected at the time of business group definition? I'm sorry, like you don't remember or you can't hear me. Can you hear me?
I think ERP tree underscore in India underscore.
See, my question, please. Again, I am repeating my question. I am asking, when we are creating the business group, within the business group, we provided business group info. Within that business group info, we given how the employee number need to be generated, how the contingent number need to be generated, how applicant number need to be generated in the same form. We given job flex field structure name. What job flex field structure name we given? That is my question.
Job
I
flex
think
field structure.
job flex field.
That's it.
We
That's
have
the
given.
answer I'm looking for. In job flex field structure, we given name as job flex field because that is created with the same flex field name only. So in this list, you can see the same. This is the one, right? This is the what we assigned. Okay, this job flex field. This is one of the structure within the job flex field, but the same flex field name only they created structure also, or else they can write the name as job flex field structure. But by default, they taken with the flex field name only. This is what we selected. So within this, we have two segments. That is the reason when we try to create the job, it is asking for job code and job name. The reason is within this, the selected job flex field at the time of BU creation. Okay, what this is what we selected over there. That is the reason within that business group through HRMS application when we are creating the job, system is asking two segments values information. So we'll open and we'll see that so that we can understand. I'll just unfreeze it, like the same logic is applicable for any structure. We just already we worked on this chart of account structure. Can be any structure, we'll just create and we'll be freezing. I'm going to unfreeze this structure. Just go to segments. Here you can see the segments called as job code and job name. Here we have those two segments. When you are trying to create job, we have to provide the information for job code as well as job name. But if you remember, just for testing purpose, I taken to that form. Once you place the cursor in the name, it is opening on pop-up window. Within that only we have these two fields, but there we don't have LOV. The reason is, if you look at the value sets which are assigned to these segments, okay, you can understand. So I'm selecting this value set, or else you can select this segment and click on value set. If you see the validation type they taken as none. None meaning is they don't want to maintain any predefined values. But when we created value sets for our company department, by default system is taking independent. Validation type as independent system is taking, we accepted. So because of that reason, we were able to create the values as a predefined values. So here the validation type is none. When you say none, we no need to maintain any values which are predefined. And even if you go to job name also, you can address the same. Click on value set which is assigned to job name segment. The value set information you can see. The value set name is 30 characters optional. Here also none. So that is the reason when we are creating the job, you have to provide the information for these two fields, nothing but two segments, job code and job name. But since validation type selected as a none, you are not going to maintain any predefined values. In that case, what we do is the option is we can enter the job code and name dynamically. So this is the point we have to understand. Now we'll go on to create the job. After that, just we'll talk on this. Okay, I'll just go and create the job. Now we'll see how to create the job. From now you can take the point. First we'll complete. After completing, if you have any doubts or queries, just we'll discuss. Okay, now take the task. Okay, you can make a note. Create job. Job you can create from HRMS. Go to HRMS responsibility and take the navigation. Work structures. Job description. work structures, job description. So here we want to create new job, so click on new. So here we have a name, nothing but here the form name is job, so it's nothing but job name. Just place the cursor here. In job flex fill, how many segments we have and what are those? Anyone? It's not a big question, but let me ask.
Two, job name and job code.
Yeah, the two we have. Once you place the cursor here, the system will display the same. Okay. So now you can see the structure name is job flex fill. Within that we have two segments. Here I am not getting any LOB. The reason is for these two segments, what are the value sets are assigned, the value set level validation type is none. When you have a none, okay, there won't be any option to maintain the values. So in that case, you can give the job code and name dynamically. The moment you are creating, you can give what are the code and name you want to give. That's how you can manage. So how you need accordingly you can maintain, but how we have in the system I'm showing. If HRMS consultant is going to if HRMS consultant is suggesting to the client, you can maintain all predefined values. In that case, the validation type they'll take as a just maybe independent. In that case, they can maintain all job codes and job names. Then when we are creating the job, you can select from LOB. Okay. In this vision instance, this is how we have. Anyway, we are not going to provide the solution. At least we have to understand how to define the jobs. That is the reason I'm taking through all these points. So I'll give the job code as, so I want to create job code as buyer. The job code I'll give as, say, B4444. Job code I'm giving as B4444. Job name I want to give as a buyer. So dynamic values based on value set. Value set level we have none, so that will allow dynamic values. Then say okay and save it. We created one job. This is the process how to create the job. Any questions on these points, please?
Lakshman, I know that you did not explain it, but just asking, where did the job group come from? Like it was already there from before, right?
Okay, so that's all about for each business group automatically system will create one job group. That means this job whatever I am creating, that will be identified by that job group only. That means system will be grouping how many jobs I am going to create. All jobs will be grouped into this job group only, just grouping purpose. There are many features within the HRMS to use that grouping functionality in the different ways they are given that solution. You can create more than one job group, that is possible, but by default for one BZ it will create one job group. Fine.
Yes, okay, thanks.
Yep. Then just close it. So now we'll go and create one position. Okay, we'll go and create one position. So before you go and create the position, we'll go and see how many segments we have in the position flex field, and we'll just go through that position flex field structure. Based on that, we'll create one position. So if you want to check directly from here, we don't have navigation to go to flex fields form. So go to GL or any other application, it may be inventory or any application. Since we know GL very well, the navigations we are just switching to GL only. Go to GL, and to find out position flex field structure, take the same navigation, setup, financials, flex fields, key, segments. Here click on find, type human resources. Here we have a flex field called as position flex field. Application is human resources, flex field is position flex field. Select and say okay. Now within this position flex field we have many position flex field structures. So which flex field structure we selected at the time of our business group definition. We selected position
Position.
flex field. Yep. This is the one which we selected, right? So before we go and create the position by using this position flex field structure, we'll see how many segments we have as a part of this position flex field. Directly you can go and see. It's not mandatory how to unfreeze. If you unfreeze, it will allow you to do some changes. Okay, anyway, directly let's get into this. Click on segments. Here how many segments we have? 4 segments: position number, position name, position code, again position name. But if you notice here, last 2 segments are disabled. Okay, those 2 are disabled, and display also they removed. That means only 2 segments are active within this. Only 2 segments are active. When we are creating the position, we'll have only 2 segments. Those 2 are position number and position name. If you want to check how these segment related value sets are created, you can select segment, click on value set. Here also you see the same validation type, none. That means there are no predefined values. Only the option is we have to enter dynamic values. Go and check for position name. Click on value set. Same you can see here. Validation type is none. Close it. Okay, just these are the points we have to notice when we are going to create the position. So just these and all, we don't need to look into that, but for our better understanding, just I'm trying to give you this information. The reason is we are creating the job. Okay, it is opening 2 fields. What are those exactly? So you have to understand. That is the reason I'm trying to give you, because otherwise we are not going to work on HRMS. We don't need to understand this much detail level. Since we are touching, let's have the meaningful information related to that. So now we'll go and create the one position. So later we'll create one more job and one more position, but for now in this stage we'll create one job and one position. Already job we created, now we are going to create one position. So go to HRMS application or responsibility, anything you can call. The navigation, take the navigation to create the position. You can take the task as create position. Take the task as create position. To create the position, the navigation is work structures, position, description. To create the position, navigation is work structures, position, description. Open this. Okay, now we are going to create new position. Click on new. Just click on new. Done. So here we have one field called as date effective name, because date effective means there is separate feature in HRMS. Date effective tracking functionality we have, that is the reason the label name they given as date effective. Ignore it. We have to just, this is a position related form. Within that we are going to create the position name. Just place cursor in this field, date effective name field. It's nothing but position name field. Place cursor here. Okay, and here you can enter the position number and name. Okay, we could see the same, these 2 segments as a part of position flex field. Of course we have 4, but 2 are disabled, 2 segments are active. The same 2 segments you can see here. Since those segments level, what are the value sets are assigned, the validation type is none. You don't get any LOV option here. Okay, so enter position number. I'll say I want to create the position as a purchasing manager. I'll give the position number as M4444. I given job number as a job code as, okay, B4444. Here I'm just giving the position number as M4444. I can write exact position name here. The position I'll say purchasing manager. Okay, and one more point, don't take this definition. Here one point we have to understand. So you may take navigation and all. Okay, or else that also you can ignore. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you that. So this position navigation and all you don't need to take. Whatever I'm trying to create, you don't need to take. We have one point to understand. After completing that, again we'll come back to this position window and we'll perform the same. Okay, I'm selecting. Say okay. This is a position name with the position code. So what is this position type in our company? So here you can see the different values. The type is not applicable, or else it can be pooled position, or it can be shared position, or it can be single, where we will have one unique position in the company. This and all will be decided by HCM consultant only. We don't need to HRMS consultant. We don't need to worry about it. Just to complete this, you can select none and you can just complete this. I'm selecting this type, this position type. I'm not taking into any one of the classification. Normal position I'm creating. Now what we have to do is, after creating the position you have to map with your business group. These positions we are going to maintain within which business group we have to specify. Now if I try to select my business group here, we cannot find. Just give percentage and click on find. You don't find any value. The reason is, if you, what is our target here? We want to assign this position to business group. We want to assign this position to business group. Okay, our requirement is we want to assign position to BZ. That means within the BZ we want to maintain some positions, few positions. Now we are trying to maintain one position. You please tell me, when we are creating the business group, which classification we given for business group? At the time of business group definition, what classification we given to business group? We have an organization classification, right? Business group creation time, we given one classification called as organization classification. What organization classification we given for business group? Anyone?
Is it a business group with info?
Any other answers?
Business group. Only business group we have given.
Yeah, classification we given as a business group. That's all. Info we given in other tab to specify more information, but organization classification we given as a business group for system understanding. Okay, that is the point I'm asking. Okay, we given business group classification. That means we have one BZ which is classified as a business group. You have one business group which is classified as business group. If you have one BZ which is classified as just business group, you cannot assign position to that business group. If you want to maintain the positions within the business group, the same business group need to be classified as HR organization also. If business group is classified as HR organization, then only you can maintain the positions within that business group. Now our business group is not classified as HR organization, it's just classified as business group. That is the reason this position you cannot assign to your BG. That is the reason the BG is not available in this LOB. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to go on to give additional organization classification called as HR organization. Okay, you can take the point as classify business group as HR organization to maintain positions information within that BZ. Okay, the point is classify business group as HR organization to assign positions to that business group or to maintain the positions within that business group. So we know the navigation, how to go to the business group. So navigation is remains same. Work structures, organization, description. So find your business group. Just type ERP tree, tab out, select your business group. ERP tree, India business group. Just say OK. Now click on find. So this is our business group. This is classified as a just business group. Just business group classification is not enough to maintain the positions within this busy. So go to the next row here, and here select organization classification. As this is not only just business group, within that we want to maintain the employees. If when you are maintaining the employees, definitely you have to maintain the positions for the employee. For that reason, first we want to maintain the positions. So write as HR organization, just tab out, it will fetch. Anyway the value will be within the LOB. Type like this, it will fetch. Now enable and save. You don't need to set any other information, not required for this. Now our business group is classified as business group as well as HR organization. Now system will allow us to assign the positions to our business group. Now we'll go and create the position. Now you can take the point as create position. So to create the position, navigation is work structures. Okay, to create the position, navigation is work structures, position, description. Okay, here we discuss the point. First we'll create the job. After that we'll create the position. While we are creating the position, we will assign job to position. That means as a part of position creation, we will be selecting the person who is going to have so and so job will perform which job, that we have to specify. Okay, so we are going to create position as purchasing manager. What purchasing manager will do? What is the job of purchasing manager? So purchasing, buying activities, buyer activities they'll do. That specification we have to do. Okay, the process of position creation, we have to assign the job to position. Click on new and place cursor in date effective name field. Give the position number, say position number P4444, or say M manager, of course purchasing manager, but I'll just give as a M4444, and position name is purchasing manager. Then say OK. And what within the organization, how you want to classify this position, different classification we have, but we don't need to focus on that. This is not our job. Just we are trying to understand how to create position. Select none. Anytime you can change it, not an issue. Now this position you want to maintain in which business group? Definitely in our business group only. So here just click on LOV, give percentage, and click on find. Now you can find your business group. Reason, this business group is classified as a HR organization. Select it. Now we have to assign job to this position. Okay, this is job, sorry, this is a position. For this position we have to assign the job. So just now before we creating this position, we created job, right? That job you can select here. Here we have a job field, and job code we given as D4444, or else you can click on LOV and you can select from list of values, or just if you know the code and all, you can type tab out, it will fetch automatically. And in our organization, this position is what type of position? This is active position or not, that you have to specify. The hiring status for this position is, you have to say active. It's not proposed, it is active position. We have this position in our organization. It is not something proposed. So based on our business group selection, automatically system is defaulting the location. Okay, done. So now you can save it. System will create position. Okay, we created job. The job we assign to the position, the process of job definition. Here we given the job. That means this job is assigned to this position. That's what we have to understand. Done. Close. Now what is the next step? After position creation, we have to create the employee. So as a process, we'll write here. So after creating the job, we have to create position. Already we completed this. After this, we'll go and create employee. We'll create employee. So now we'll see the process of employee creation in the HRMS application. So take the task name as create employee. Take the task name as create employee, and navigation is from HRMS. Navigation is people, enter and maintain. By taking this navigation, we can create the new employee. Okay. By taking this navigation, we can create the new employee. Just double click on this enter and maintain function. Okay. Now it's a find person form. We are not going to find any existing employee. We want to create new employee, so click on new. If already you want to find existing employees, you may enter name here, you can click on find, but now we are going to create new employee. Just click on new. This is employee creation form. So out of all these fields, you can see the last name is mandatory, and of course along with the last name there will be few more fields will become mandatory in the process of employee creation. Any name I can take as employee name from the participants. No name. I'll just take Ramesh. Okay. You may just provide all the information, first name, title, prefix, suffix, middle name and all, but not mandatory. That is the reason I'm not entering, but I want to enter the title. So Mr. So based on this title selection, automatically system will select the gender. Select, it is selecting gender. And what we are trying to do, we are trying to create the employee that you have to select as an action here. Once you click on this drop down, here we have an action field, right? Click on this drop down. Here we have a different option whether you want to create applicant or employee, some placement, or create some other purposes that we have to specify. Now we want to create employee, so select action as create employment. Once you select, okay, system will select identification as an employee here. Fine. Now as a basic information, provide date of birth for this employee. I'll just provide 1st John 1980. Okay, and based on this date, system is taking the age for the employee and save it. System will create the employee with this information, and it will create the employee number also, where we given employee number generation related details. How employee number need to be generated, where we given that specification. Anyone?
At the business group level, we have given automatic as a value.
At the time of business group definition, within the business group info, we given employee number generation. There we given as automatic. Now once you save this record, automatically system will generate the number. Just Control S, save this record. Okay, just save this record. It will create employee number, the same you can see here, the number it will display here. Okay, fine. Anyway, it will create, may take seconds of time. Done, it created. Now this Ramesh employee is Ramesh, the employee ID is 1. Fine. After creating employee, what we have to do is we have to assign the job and position to employee. Say assign job and position to employee. Assign job and position to employee. So if you remember, at the time of position creation, we already assigned job to position. That means If I go and assign position to employee, automatically job also will get assigned to employee. This is what we have to understand. Okay, let's go and do it. So, but as a statement, you can take task, you can take assign job and position to employee, whether you will be assigning manually each and everything or automatically. That is that point we can say at the time of assignment. But automatic, once you assign position to employee, since job is assigned to position, that will get assigned to employee automatically. But you can override if you want to change anything at the time of employee the job position assignment, you can change it. Possible. We'll go and do it. Task name is assign job and position to employee. So we are on the same page form, employee form, or else you just for your understanding, just I'm closing it. Again, we'll go and open and we'll assign. Employ people, enter and maintain. What is our employee number? Employee ID 1, right? So to find that, you may give the employee number 1, tab out, click on find. Once you give 1, it is taking automatically full name for the employee. Click on find, you can find that employee record in this same form. Now we want to assign job and position. To assign the job and position to this employee, go to this tab. Here we have one tab called as assignment. We have one tab called as assignment. Just click on this. Okay, click on assignment. Here we have fields called as position and job. If you select job, again you have to select position, but if you select position, whatever job assigned to this position, that will be defaulted here. Okay, so that is the reason I'm going to select position first, then automatically job will get assigned. You can select from LOV. If you know the name, you can type it. The position name we given as M4444, and tab out, it will fetch. Just tab out. System taken the name as M4444 purchasing manager. See, within the HRMS application, this update and correction, these two are two different features which can be tracked with a date tracking functionality, that you don't need to worry about it when you are creating. You can just click on update or correction, anything you can do. We don't need to worry about it. Here you can understand also correction, correct existing information, update, keep history of existing information. Okay. So you can select here anything. We don't need to worry about, just how to define, we have to understand. We don't need to get into that the functionality, how it works respect to HRMS. Okay, you can just say anything. I'm just going to update the system. Once I say it is throwing some error message, my suggestion is you don't need to read it, also say okay. And here this message also you can say okay, if you may read and all, but not required. Just say yes. Now you can see for this position, what are the job already assigned, the job is getting defaulted here. That means we assign job and position to this employee. Which employee? Mr. Ramesh. Now save it. Just save it and close it. Now we have an employee with job and position assignments. The employee number is, or employee ID is 1. Any questions here, please? Do you have any questions? Okay, fine. Seems to no questions. Okay, just give me 1 minute, I'll be back. Okay, please, 1 minute. Okay, fine. So the next step is, say, assign employee to user. Okay, we have to assign employee to user. So whenever you are working on the application with so and so user, then system will identify as so and so employee is working. Okay, which employee you are assigning to the user, that's how system will understand that employee is working on the application with so and so login. For that kind of identification purpose in the system, we have to assign employee to user. So where we can create the user in sysadmin. So we have to go to that sysadmin only to find out the user so that we can assign the employee to user. Okay. To assign employee to user, switch to sysadmin responsibility. Okay. You know this process very well, right? So just we have to click on switch responsibility, or else we have other option as file switch responsibility. Both will open the same form. Select want to switch to which responsibility, then say okay. Now we are in system administrator responsibility. So for user, go to security, user, define. This is the navigation. Security user define. Just use enter or double click, it will open the user definition form. Now we have to find out what are the user we created. How to find? You can query, you know the process, or else simply you can go with find option. Click on find. Just you want to find which user, you type here ERP3, then click on find. Here you can see the username, select and say okay. So we want to assign employee to this user. To assign employee to user, we have a field called as person. If you select the employee name in this person field, that means we are assigning employee to user. This is what we have to understand. Just I'm giving percentage. Within the percentage, I'm going to enter employee name as Ramesh, because we have full name as Mr. Dot Space Ramesh, right? Instead of writing everything, I'm just writing the name. So that is before and after. I'm giving some percentage. If anything else we have before and after, that also it will fetch. Or else, what are the names are matching with this Ramesh, it will display. You may pick the right employee to assign to this user. Just tab out. So we have two employees in this. One is Mr. Ramesh, other employee is Ramesh Reddy. Okay, so we know just now we created this employee only, right? And you can see the details also. If you want to see this employee belongs to which business group, you can see. So Mr. Ramesh is belongs to ERPT India Business Group, and Ramesh Reddy belongs to Vision Health System Business Group. So, and even you can see the number also, employee number. And the other side, Mr. Ramesh is employee or not, you can see employee question mark here. Whether employee means star mark will be there. If not employee, it won't display like that. In this field, not only employee, some other definitions also you can get. For that reason, identification purpose, we have this option. Okay. Select employee as a Mr. Ramesh. Say okay. So save it. That means we assigned employee to user. That. So these are the basic setups you have to complete from HRMS application. Nothing else. There will be many setups, but we don't need to worry about it. When HRMS consultant is going to implement for the client, HR and payroll and other areas of solutions, they'll take care of rest of things. But these are very minimum and basic setups which are required to work on any other areas of application. Okay, fine. So we're done with all HRMS setups which are basic. Now next, inventory basic setups. Okay, inventory basic setups. Fine. So Before getting into inventory related configuration, we'll talk on few points. In the system, we have different options. Just you may make a note. We have different options. So those options are say inventory options. Please make a note all these points. Receiving options, purchasing options, financials options, payables options. This is how we have a different options within the system. Not only this, we have many other options also that we'll discuss when we go to that area. But now we are going to primarily we are going to work on P2P cycle. So what are the options are available as a part of P2P cycle? I am just giving that list. So we have inventory options, receiving options, purchasing options, financials options, and payables options. These are the different options we have. What is the purpose of these options? Okay, what is the purpose of these options? It's very simple to understand. What options will do is, options will help us to control the application behavior, or say these options we can use to set the behavior of the application. Say I'm going to work on payables. When I'm working on payables or purchase any application, take any application. Let me take an example as payables. If I'm going to work on accounts payables application, how I want to use that accounts payable application as per the business requirement, that I can set up by using the options. How system has to behave when I'm going to work on so and so process, that I can set by using the options. In other words, I can say we can use the options to control the application functionality. Setting behavior or controlling the application functionality, both are same. Okay, by using the options we can control the application functionality. The functionalities, whatever features we have, how we want to use, that you can decide by using the options. That means these options will control the particular application functionalities or process. In other words, you can say with the options we can set the behavior, how it has to behave. If you are working on payables, how the functionality should behave, how the entire application should behave. When you are working on purchasing, how it should behave. That kind of controls we can set by using these options. Apart from the setting up behavior or controls, we can set some defaults also. Just make a note these points. We'll just come across all these once again. I'll just highlight those points whatever we are discussing now. By standing here we cannot see those, just we have to try to understand the purpose. We can see the proof of the purpose when we are working on the system. But for now, simple point I'm telling, by using the options we can set controls or say behavior. You can say controls or behavior, and other point is we can set the defaults. Okay, we can set the default information by using the options. We'll see all these points what we are discussing in the system. Okay, so but in the system these all are options, but display they given, instead of giving the inventory options, for the display purpose they given inventory information. Okay, and receiving options, basically they are receiving options. Sometimes in some places they are giving as receiving options, some other places within the application you can see as a receiving information. So receiving information or receiving options, both are same. Inventory information or inventory option, both are same, but within the application we don't see anywhere as inventory options. You find as a inventory information only. You don't see anywhere as a inventory options. But when I talk about receiving options, you can see sometimes as inventory options, in some other places you can see as inventory information. When you talk about purchasing options, yes, always you can see as a purchasing options. Financial options you can see as a financial options only. Payable options you can see as a payables options. As it is you can see, however I written, the same way you can see. What point we discussed? By using the options we can control, or we can set the behavior of the application, or in other point is we can set defaults. We can set defaults by using these options. So which options for which application we have to understand? Okay, which options for which application we have to understand. When you talk about that point, so inventory information or inventory options we can use to control or to set the behavior for only inventory application. By using the inventory information or inventory options, you can set a control on how inventory application you want to use as per your business requirement. By using the receiving options or receiving information, you can control the process of one way inventory, other way is purchasing. PO means purchasing. That means by using the inventory information or inventory option, you can control the inventory related specific functionality. When you talk about receiving options or information, by using these, you can control inventory as well as PO related functionality or process flow. When you talk about purchasing options, it's a purely to control purchasing specific functionality, PO only. By using the purchasing options, you can set certain controls on only purchasing application. When you talk about financials options, with these financial options, you can have a great control on PO, purchasing, AP, and just just kind of so very specific. It's not very primary, but I'm including, since there is a fact, FA also. This financial options primarily for PO and AP, but there is connectivity with FA also, so that is the reason we have to understand. The financial options will control PO and AP and FA related the relevant functionalities, and the payables options to control just accounts payables application functionality. So the options to control application functionality are to set the behavior, or you can say to set the defaults. And again, when you look into those options, which options for which application, when you have that question, this is the answer. With inventory information, you can control inventory application. With receiving options or information, you can control to set the behavior or controls on inventory and PO related application. Purchasing options only for PO purchasing application, and financial options for PO, AP, and FA, and payable options for just AP. So this is how we have. Okay, just keep that information ready with you. I mean to say the understanding. So now we'll start working on inventory related basic setups. When you talk about inventory, as a part of inventory, already we created item master inventory. Sorry. Item master inventory we created. Okay, we created item master inventory. So whenever you create any inventory, what we have to do is, so with inventory application, which options are connected? You can see here, inventory. That means these two options are connected with inventory. This inventory information only for inventory, but receiving options for inventory as well as PO. So that is the reason for item master inventory, you have to set these two options. So for item master inventory, you have to set up inventory information, okay. Please don't get confused, just wait for some time, because this is a stage where we have to do many setups without doing any transaction. Once you complete these setups and we'll start with the transaction process, there you'll get complete meaning of why we are doing all those things. So you may get bored with all these setups, but please wait for some time, we'll see what you are expecting to see. Okay, but these all are mandatory, compulsory. Without this, you cannot use this application. So for item master inventory, we have to set up inventory information as well as receiving, sorry, receiving information, or you can call as receiving options, whatever. Okay. So now we created item master inventory. Okay, I'll just mark the status here. Item master inventory you completed, so I'm marking status as done. Now for the item master inventory, you have to set up inventory information and receiving information. If you want to set inventory information in the system, what we have to do is you have to complete one more setup. To set up inventory information ready in the system, you have to complete other definition called as workday calendar. We know accounting calendar. By using accounting calendar, you can record the business transaction where each and every transaction can be accounted on so and so date or within the period, the respective accounts and amounts. But what is this workday calendar? To set up inventory ready, it's a mandatory. You have to create a workday calendar. In your business process, you may use, may not use. The purpose is by using the workday calendar, you can set up, okay, you can set up working days and non-working days within your inventory work area. In the warehouse management process, which are working and which are non-working, say within the inventory department. For inventory department, what are the working days, non-working days you have that you can set. It's more related to some manufacturing related process also. Okay, the simple point here is by using the workday calendar, you can go and specify which is working day and which is non-working day within the organization for the operations of inventory warehouse management. The same time, you can specify how many shifts we have in our company and what are the shift timings. Those and all you can specify by using the workday calendar. So what we do is, anyway, item master inventory we created, and we have to go on to set up workday calendar. After completing the workday calendar creation, we can set up inventory information and receiving information. After that, we can create our real inventory, which we call as actual inventory, which is a physical, which you can see in the business. So just I'll call it as here, I'll list out the same, and we'll be creating, after completing those setups, we'll create actual inventory. So for item master inventory, what we are doing, we have to set inventory information, receiving information. If you want to set inventory information, we require workday calendar. That is the reason first we'll create workday calendar, then we'll set these. The workday calendar you don't need to create for each and every inventory separately. One you can create, you can use it. So when you create actual inventory also, we have to set this information, inventory information as well as receiving information. So I'm just copying and pasting here. Done. After creating the actual inventory, what we have to do is, the inventory we can see in the business, there will be some partition, right? We discussed in the previous classes, when we were talking about O2C cycle, there I explained how the inventory structure looks like, basic structure. There will be entire inventory organization. Within that, there will be some partition which we call as sub inventory, right? And there could be some staging area when we are just moving the items into inventory, or when we are just, it could be item inflow or outflow. Everything will pass through that staging only. These points already we discussed, right? So maybe here, right? So this is what we discussed. This is the inventory organization. It's a very basic general normal structure. The total inventory is just, we have partitions which we call as sub inventory, and this we are calling as staging area. The real business, the few organizations you may have inventory where they never have a segregation, separation, means there may not be any sub inventory. They may have big godam. Within that godam only they may store all the items, but there may not be physical partition. But if there is no physical, if they have some physical partition within their inventory, that they have to manage in the system also. Say for example, they have an inventory. Take this example only. They have the inventory, and within that there are 4 sub inventories. That means within this inventory, okay, within this inventory we have to create, within this inventory we have a 4 sub inventories. The same 4 sub inventories we have to create within this inventory in the system also. But sometimes we come across the situation where the real inventory doesn't have any partitions. That means there may not be sub inventory as per the business. But system point of view, as per system, sub inventory is mandatory. As per system, sub inventory is mandatory. When sub inventory is mandatory as per system, and as per business, if there is no sub inventory, what we have to do? Okay, we have to create dummy sub inventory. You may have one inventory, within that there may not be partition, but in the system process, sub inventory is mandatory, which you don't have in your business, which you don't have in the business. In that case, what we have to do is you have to create one dummy one. Why this sub inventory is mandatory as per system? As per the solution what we have in the system, when we are receiving the material into our organization, it is mandatory you have to specify you are receiving the material into which is sub inventory. That would be very generic business practice which companies follow. That is the reason Oracle given that the solution in that way. In somewhere you find situation they don't have sub inventory, what we have to do is you have to create one dummy one, maybe with the same inventory name. That's how we can run the process within the system environment. Okay, any questions on this, please? Okay, any questions on this? Okay, I think no questions. Fine. So now what we have to do is, after completing the actual inventory, how many sub inventories they have as per business, those many sub inventories we have to create within this inventory. If they don't have any sub inventories, okay, at least you have to create one dummy sub inventory. But here we'll take the point as create sub inventory. Sorry, create sub inventory. We'll create sub inventory within the inventory, within the specific actual inventory. After that, what we have to do is we have to create the items, stock in the sense what material you are going to maintain within the inventory. You have to create the items. So where we have to create items, already we discussed. Anyone?
In item master inventory.
Yeah, exactly. We have to create in item master inventory, because item master inventory purpose is item definition. We cannot create items in actual inventories. That's how we have solution. Items can be created only within item master inventory. Later those can be assigned to the specific actual inventory. So we'll create the items. After creating items, those items we have to assign to actual inventories. Assign, first we'll create items, then assign items to actual inventory, or inventories, anything you can call. Okay, this is what we have to do. After completing this task, we have to open inventory periods. If you remember, to create the journal, we open GL periods. Without opening the GL periods, you cannot create any journal within the GL application. The same way, if you want to record any inventory related transaction within the inventory application, you have to open the inventory periods. Okay, we have to open the inventory periods. So these are the setups we have to complete as a mandatory setups as a part of inventory basic setups. If you complete these setups, system will support us to work on this inventory related basic activities which really we have to understand even we are going to work on financials. What are the basic level of knowledge we require for financial consultants to work in any project? It can be implementation or support. So that level of knowledge we can gain by doing these setups and by doing the process which can be supported by these setups. Okay, so now we'll do one by one. Anyway, we have item master inventory ready in the system we created in the previous class. Now we'll go and create the workday calendar. Once workday calendar is ready, you can go ahead with these setups. Fine. Take the task name as create workday calendar. Task name is create workday calendar. Create workday calendar. So take the navigation. The workday calendar you can create from inventory application. Means inventory application you can access by using inventory responsibility. That always we have to understand that point. But not generally we uh, just will be referring always application only. Okay, inventory workday calendar we can create from inventory application. To access inventory application we have inventory responsibility, right? Let's go to inventory responsibility. Click on switch responsibility. So go to inventory super user and here take the navigation. We want to create workday calendar, right? So take the navigation as from inventory we are doing this setup. Please make a note of all the points from where we are doing what is the navigation. Everything you should take a note for our reference. You have to read and you have to remember all those points. It may not be possible all the time playing these videos and understanding. So just navigation is setup. Okay, navigation is setup organizations calendars. Okay, to create the workday calendar from inventory, navigation is setup organizations calendars. Just double click. Okay, fine. So here you can give the name. I'll give the name as ERP tree. This field doesn't support for entering a very long name. It accepts only short name. Short name means very limited characters it accepts. So that is the reason I want to give the name as in short workday calendar. Even it is not accepting C. So I'll go with the name as ERP workday calendar WDC. Okay. So here we may write the description, but not mandatory. ERP tree. Okay. Workday calendar. Here the period pattern you have to take. You can see the label name as quarterly, but basically that is a period pattern how you want to create the periods. So here you can go with the calendar months. Okay. Here we don't need to analyze all the points. Okay, just we have to understand in the basic level how to create. This complete detailed information should be known by inventory consultant, whom we call as SCM, because when you talk about SCM, inventory purchasing order management, all comes under inventory. So I'm selecting calendar months. Now here is the logic when you are creating the workday pattern. Within that we have to create workday pattern. Now take this case. So here you may start with this date or any date. Okay, so you may start with the 2016 or the 17, whatever it may be, but the current date should be part of this workday calendar. That's very important. If you take simple example, so we are starting this workday calendar with the 1st Jan 2016. So Let me take those notes. Let's take simple example. As per our organization, working days are Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday, Saturday and Sundays are off. In that case, in a week we have 5 days on, 2 days off. Okay. If that is the case, if you take from date as 1st Jan 2015, the date is, if you take this date, the day is Friday. If you take the starting date for our workday calendar is 1st Jan 2016, for the day is Friday. We are taking the point Monday to Friday working, Saturday and Sunday off. That means 5 days on in a week, 5 days on, 2 days off. Based on that, you tell me still in the current week how many days are off on. Still in the current week, as per that, what are the dates you can see in that system, 1st Jan 2016. Based on this, still in that week, how many days are on working days? Anyone, please?
1 day.
1 day. Okay. The current week, 1 day on. How many days are off? Within this week, current week, I mean. The current week, how many days are off?
2.
2. Good. So 1 day is on, 2 days are off. How many days we have in a week? 7. So already we declared 1 day is on, within this week 2 days are off. That means we are specifying Friday is on, Saturday and Sunday are off. The remaining how many days are left to specify? These are not very big questions at all, anytime, but I'm expecting answer from you.
4.
4 days are left. So those 4 days you cannot specify in the current week. Those you have to specify in the next week. So tell me in the next week how many days will be on?
4 days.
On 3 days.
Please think and tell me. Already we just discussed the point. Total 7 days in a week, every time, anytime. So 1 day we declared as per current date. Friday, we are in Friday. So Friday on.
5 days on.
Yeah, 5 days on, 2 days off. Already we declared 1 day is on and 2 days are off. Or the 1 day is Friday, 2 days are Saturday and Sunday. Still how many days are left to declare in a week?
4 days.
4 days. Now tell me in the next week we have to specify those days. The next week how many days will be on and how many days will be off? Total 7 only.
1 and 2.
5 on and 2 off.
Sorry? Anyone? Let me see here who is asking.
5 on and 2 off.
Okay, let me take your answer. What you are saying? 2 off. Next week. This week.
5 on and 2 off.
Okay. So yeah, that is the point which we have to understand. That is the reason I am asking the questions. Total 7 days only. 3 already declared. The same 3 will be repeated in the next week. Again, you no need to say next week also Friday is on, Saturday, Sunday are off. If you say in this week Friday is on, Saturday, Sunday are off, the same is applicable in the next week also. So only the days we have to declare is 4 only. Okay, Friday we declare in this week itself. In the next week we have to declare Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are on or off. The next week you have to specify the 4 days are on and off are 0, because already in this week you specified Saturday, Sunday is off. If you say, you no need to say every week this Saturday, Sunday also off. That is the rule. In a week, Friday is on, Saturday, Sunday are off, means that is applicable in all the weeks. So this is how we have to specify Finally, we have to declare 7 days. Since we are starting our calendar with the 1st John is start the day is Friday. So within this week, one day on we specify, that means that is Friday. 2 days are off means Saturday and Sunday. So already we specified what is the status of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Only the days are left. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those we have to specify in the next week. And next week we have to say 4 days on. That means total you see 7 days. So overall 5 days on, 2 days off. Those 5 days as per the specification: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The 2 days off are Saturday, Sunday. That's it. So this we call as workday pattern. You have to specify exactly like this based on your account. Your workday calendar is starting with which date exactly, with which day. Based on the day what system is selecting, accordingly you have to say. Now I'll change the date. Now you tell me. Okay, based on this you tell me how many days in the current week. So I'm starting 6th John 2016. How many days are on and how many days are off in this current week?
Three,
Uh,
3 on and 2
3 days
off.
are on.
That's all. 3 on, 2 off. So already we declared 5. Still 2 are left. Those
Two
we can
on
specify in
and
the next week. Say 2. Done. So this is the logic we have to understand. I'll say 9. I'll say 10. Now tell me. Based on this, tell me how many days are on in this current week?
5 on, 1 off.
Current week,
Not 5, 0.
5 on, 1 off.
0 and
Okay, 0 off. How many days off? 0 on. How many days off?
1 day.
1 day. Yes. So this is what you have to understand. How many days on in the next?
7, no, 5 on and 1 off.
5 and 1.
5 and 1.
So this is the logic we have to understand when you are creating workday calendar. That's all. Okay. So enough. This discussion is enough to understand this. Now let's go ahead and we'll define accordingly, so that you see results accordingly. So I'll go with the 1st John here, and make sure that current dates or months or years are within that from and to dates of your workday calendar. Anyway, here we are giving 1st John 2016, and I'll specify here 31st December 2020. Okay, you just give the calendar date ranges, then click on workday pattern. Please take all the points. Okay, first we have to give the name, then select the workday calendar type as calendar months, and calendar date range we have to select. When you are selecting date range, you have to be very careful. So the date is starting with which date. Based on the date only the pattern need to be decided. If you go and simply specify 5 days on, 2 days off, it will understand based on which date. Okay, now if I go and give 5 days on, system will start 5 days on means from Friday. That means it will understand, it will take in the system Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. These 5 days it will take as on, and remaining 2 days it will take as off, because starting date is Friday. Okay, so that is the reason we have to be very careful when we are defining the workday pattern.
Lakshman, I have one small doubt in the previous screen. You chosen from date and to date a specific range, like 1st Jan 2016 to 31st December 2020. So in implementation, these dates, who is going to give? Like we need to choose only this particular date range or
See.
those kind of data.
No. See, basically this will be created by a same consultant. Since we are creating, I'm just giving the meaning of that. So you have to make sure that the current year is existed within this. Anytime you can change it. Okay, the current year you are creating now, you just give from previous year. That's enough. Okay, the future anytime you can extend. The past also you can give, but If I'm going to give from
Okay.
next year, this current year is not existed within this date range, means I cannot set up controls which is a working day, non-working day for this year. So make sure that current year is included. Anyway, future anyway always will have option to extend it. Basically, this setup will be done by SCM consultant. Since we are touching this, okay, for just more information when you're working on this process, I'm just explaining these points.
Yeah, clear. Got it.
Yep. So now by following these from and to, from date, you have to specify here sequence. I'll say 1. So how many days are on in this week? Just Friday only, 1. How many days are off? 2. Go to next sequence, 2. 2 in the sense next week. There already 1 day we specified on. Total we discussed 5 working, 2 non-working. So 4 you have to specify. Those are nothing but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And next week how many off we have? No. We'll have off. But again you don't need to specify. Already in this current week we given 2, nothing but Saturday, Sunday. The same will remain in the next week also. So this is how we have to create a workday pattern. If you give this logic, then automatically system will specify which are working and which are non-working. We'll see that anyway. So give information like this as a workday pattern and save it and close it. Now we can go and define the shifts. How many shifts we have in the organization? Click on shifts. We don't need to go very detailed level here, not required. Just let's go with a very basic level. I'm giving shift 1. I'll say day shift. So what are the timings for day shift that you can set up here? Click on timings. Here it follows 24 hours pattern. So that is the reason what I'll do is 08 minutes, include seconds also. So morning 8 to say evening 6. So 6 means 18. So this is how you have to specify the shift timings, start and stop, start and end timings for the shift, then save it. No need to worry about this note and all. Say okay. Just close it. Now you can go and check based on the workday pattern what we given, how system is understanding which day is working, which day is non-working. Just click on dates. Here you can see how system is specifying. Oh, think what we given there. No, is saved or not. So 1 2 just fine. This is correct. What system is taking this information? I think, but it has to accept this because here it's a mismatching because our system date is different and the server date is different. Because of that.
Lakshman, if you take 4th Jan, I think it will be correct.
No, it's not like that. Because of we are getting result, we should not change it. See, this is how we have to take it. Okay. Yeah, correct. It is taking. Fine. See here, dates. Click on dates. It is taking. Sunday and Saturdays are here. You can see off. Gray color, and remaining which are in the black color, you can say days on. So this is what because this is a workday pattern. Based on workday pattern, this is how we'll get it. Okay, and here we have see exceptional on and exceptional off. So which you see in the black color, that is by default days on, working days. If there is some, so with some reason I may make Monday as off in this month, in the September month. So in that case I can click on this. So automatically system will make it as exception off. Okay, so basically Monday is working, but I am making as off. See here, Sunday is off. I want to intentionally make it on working day. That's how you can set exception on and off also as per requirement. Based on workday patterns, the system is just deciding Sunday and Saturday off, remaining all days are working. So just these are the points you have to understand. And anyway, this is how we have to create workday calendar. After creating workday calendar, what we have to do is, before we discuss about this point, let me take a simple example what we did. After creating the chart of accounts, we are compiling it. We are compiling it where it will be get validated in the same way. So before you go and use this workday calendar, you have to build it. Here we call as build. We have to build the workday calendar. That means it will get validated by Concurrent Manager. If the workday calendar is validated by Concurrent Manager with the process called as a build process, then only the workday calendar can be used in the further setups. So how to validate, how to build it? Select workday calendar, go to tools, and here we have a option called as build. Click on this. The request will be submitted to Concurrent Manager. Say OK. You may go to SRS window, view request fine. You can just wait till system will complete this workday calendar build process. So completed. Just close it. Now we can close this. Fine. So as we discussed here, we got done with the workday calendar. Now we have to set up inventory information and receiving information for item master inventory. So after completing this, I have one more option I'll tell you, so that I'll give you some final clarification over there. But as of now, let's go in this way. So we have item master inventory which is already created, and workday calendar also created. Now we can go and set up inventory information. You can take the point as configure inventory information, or say set up inventory information for item master inventory. Okay, you can take the point as configure inventory information or set up inventory information for item master inventory. Okay, set up inventory information for item master inventory. So how to do this? Where we created inventory in HRMS, from HRMS, you can create business group, okay, and operating unit inventory organization from HRMS. If not from HRMS, you can create from inventory also, inventory application also. From these two applications, we have that navigation. Okay, we have navigation. That means it's not exactly navigation. So that form is available. Which form we require to create the business group operating unit inventory organization? That form is available from HRMS as well as inventory organization. But generally, always will go and create from HRMS only. But navigation is different. The form is available from these two applications, but navigation is different from here and there. So if you want to create from HRMS, what is the navigation we use? We use the navigation called as work structures, organization, description. But if you want to create the organization from inventory, the navigation you have to use is go to setup, organizations, organizations. Take this point. Okay. From here you can create any organization. You can create BZ and OU and inventory. Everything you can create from here. And if you want to create the location for your inventory, okay, generally you just will create the locations from, for inventory locations, generally we create location from inventory application only. So here, from here you can create the location, which location is required for your inventory. Okay, so you can create from there also, but we'll just prefer to create here. So it's a more to connect. I mean, it's like since we are working on inventory, the function, the location also you can create from here. Okay, from anywhere you can go and create. So we use that same location, Hyderabad location, only for our inventory also. Again, we don't need to go and create. Anyway, we know how to create location. Already we've gone through that process. So the first point here is what we are going to do is we are going to set up inventory information for our item master inventory. You can create or you can find the inventory from HRMS or inventory application. Let's take the navigation from here. Setup, organization, organizations. Okay, and what is your inventory organization name? ERP tree, tab out and select ERP tree item master inventory and just click on find. And one more point is, if you are trying to set inventory information, for our item master inventory from HRMS, sometimes system won't support. So that is the reason we have to prefer to set inventory information to our inventory from inventory application only. This is a point we have to understand. Okay, so here click on others. So already we provided accounting information, if you remember. After creating in the process of inventory organization, item master inventory organization, we provided accounting information. If you want to see, you can see from here by opening that. We didn't provide any operating unit, but we given what I can say, like primary ledger as well as legal entity. If you place the cursor, it will display. Right, this is what we did. So along with this information, which information? Along with accounting information, we have to set up inventory information as well as receiving information. That's what we discussed here. Inventory information, receiving information we have to set. So first we have to set inventory information. When we are setting inventory information, we require workday calendar. That is the reason before we set up inventory information, we created and we kept it ready, right? So what we have to do is now we are going to set up inventory information for our item master inventory. Just to set up, what you can do is go to others, select inventory information, then say okay. Do this setup from inventory only. If you try to do from HRMS, it may not accept all the time. Okay, so done. This is the inventory information form. When you select it over there, you can see the naming convention, the display name as inventory information. After that, the form name it is displaying as a organization parameters. Which organization? Inventory organization parameters. That means inventory information or organization parameters both are same. Remember that point. Okay, inventory information and organization parameters both are same. Now for this inventory, item master inventory, you have to give the short name, nothing but organization code. Okay, we have to provide organization code. I want to give the code. The code we can give only in 3 digits. I'll give the code as ERP item master. I'll just, it's ERP or just auto, you can write simply master inventory organization. Anything you can write. Okay, you may include the company name, you may not include. So this is just simply, you can, just some unique identification code you have to provide, but that should give the meaning as this is item master. That's what you have to specify. Now you have to select our item master organization name here. What is our item master organization name? Here only we have ERP tree item master inventory. So select it. Because when you are creating the actual inventory, for the actual inventory you have to select item master inventory organization, but now we are creating item master inventory only. For item master inventory, which is the item master inventory means the same. That's what we are selecting. And select calendar, nothing but workday calendar. See, the field is mandatory. If you don't create here, you cannot complete this setup since the field is mandatory field. So select whatever you created, click on this LOV. So ERP workday calendar. But when you are working in the real-time environment, you don't find any calendar. whatever you create, that will be the first one. But this is the vision instance, demo instance. Here somebody created these workday calendars to set up to complete their multi-org related event related configuration. Okay, so you have to create. There won't be any predefined calendars. Select it. Done. So you don't need to focus on each and every field and tab and all. Only the point you have to understand, just we have to complete these setups. We don't need to focus on each and everything. The reason we are not going to work on this inventory that very detailed level, just to understand the process, it's a mandatory we have to complete the setup. That's the reason we are trying to complete by giving the basic information which really required to support the complete process which we are planning to do. Okay, so once you select inventory information, system will open organization parameters form. Within that, under inventory parameters tab, we given organization code and we selected item master organization, and also we selected workday calendar. After that, next tab is costing information. Nothing wrong if you are taking the note of which under which tab which information you are giving, because when you are practicing, that is very much important for you to specify. Please make a note each and every point which you are discussing and doing in the system. Go to costing information tab. Here you have to select costing method. So what costing method organization is following, whether the organization is following average costing or standard costing or LIFO or FIFO, what costing method organization is following, that method just we have to select. Okay, I'm just going to select as a standard costing, and here as a mandatory you have to provide material account, because we know we are using the value set called as operations account, which is a predefined value set within this environment, which has all the accounts almost which we required when you are doing the relevant setups. So I'm going to select the material account. Seems to somebody has question.
Sorry, by mistake it was.
Okay, okay, fine. So here just take material account. So select company, select department, select account, say material account, search with material. There will be an account called as inventory material account value. So inventory material value account you have to select, and select default values. I'm selecting this, and I'm going to select future 1 and future 2. So this is how we have to, we have cases where we have to enter this company, department, project, future 1, future 2, everywhere, wherever you want to select different account. So to simplify this entry process in the system, what we can do is, I don't want to enter every time company, department, project, future 1, future 2. In that case, I can go and fix these values at chart of account level. So what happens if you fix that? I may fix only except account. In that case, whenever I open this LOV, automatically system will take what company I'm giving in the chart of account level as a default, that it will take. It will take department also, project, future 1, future 2. If you want to change any one of the values, you can change, but always you can keep account as open, because the based on where you are doing the setups, you have to definitely change the account. You have to select relevant one. That's how you can do the setups, and so that system will be defaulting based on that. I'll show you how to set up that. After setting up, here we'll come to this form once again and we'll do it. I'm closing, no issues. We've given some parameters, we don't need to worry about it. System won't save since we are not providing all the mandatory fields. We'll come back to this. We'll go to our chart of accounts. There I'll show you how to set default segment values for each and every segment. Go to chart of account structure. So switch to general ledger super user responsibility and go to chart of accounts. Navigation is setup, financials, flex fields, key, segments. Okay, now click on find, and here type general ledger, just type G, it will filter, and title should be accounting flex field. Reason, within the accounting flex field only we have our chart of accounts. Select this combination and say okay. Just place cursor here, you can find already we have here, you can see that. I think this is not one which we are trying. Just place cursor here, click on find, type ERP. It will filter. When you search, basically this is the field system you look for. Title, with the title only, the name which system will search. Code it won't use for search purpose. So this is structure we created. Now what we want to do, we want to set the defaults. If structure is freezed, you cannot go and do any changes. See here, structure is already freezed. I'll enter into the segments. Everything is freezed. No field is open. You cannot do anything within the structure if structure is freezed. For that reason, just unfreeze it and say okay. Now click on segments. Now you can see all our open status. Anything if you want to change, you can change. Now what is our requirement? Whenever we are going to enter so and so code combination, I don't want to select every time company. I want to give one fixed company here. Let system take it. If required, I change it. I'll change it. This is my requirement. So if that is our requirement, when we are going to give the values, we cannot get company values in LOV. From LOV, we have to be very sure what is the company value, department value, project, future 1, future 2 values. You have to be very sure. So that is the reason. Okay, just we have to go and see what are the values we have. So I'll just make a note. Company 0001. Okay, I think department also we have in the same way. Okay, 0001 or anything you can take. Account anyway, I'm not going to set as a fixed account. Project 0000. I think these also 0000. Yep. Just now I know which values we have as a part of our chart of accounts under specific segments. Now we can go and set as a default. So go to chart of accounts, set up financials, flex fields, key, segments, general ledger. Place cursor here, click on find, type general ERP tree. Okay, now unfreeze it, go to segments. Now for company, I want to fix wherever I go and enter some code combination for any account, system should take always 0001. To implement that, what I have to do is select segment and click on open. When you select segment and you click on open, it will open the segment related properties window. Okay, fine. See, because this all we are doing, we are seeing and doing first time, right? So definitely you'll be finding in different way. Only the solution is you have to attend and you have to see and you have to read and you have to just try with this and do practice twice minimum. Then everything will become easy and well known to us. Okay, so just click on open and here, okay, what we are doing, I'm selecting segment called as company, then click on open. Here now this company segment properties window open. This is the company name and the column name is segment 1 and this is the value set, all you can see here. Now select default type. Default type you can select as constant. So that means I want to provide one fixed value for company segment value. That is, here we cannot see LOV. Whatever you have within this value set, those you cannot see from here. But you should know you have to provide the exact value, then only it will sync and it will get defaulted. So whatever the value you have within this value set, that value only you have to provide here, which you are expecting to get default when you are entering any code combination. So we know that one company we have as a 0001. I'm entering this, which is the existing segment value for company. Just save it. Repeat the same for other segments also. So department select, click on open, say constant value, and here we have one department value like 0001. I'm selecting, save it. And account I don't want to select, account field I want to keep it open. I'll be selecting which account I required, but these I want to keep as default. If required, I'll be changing wherever required. So project, click on open, select default type as constant, and provide in the project segment we have one value called as 0000. The same I am entering here. Save and close. Go to next segment called as future one. Click on open. Here also you can say constant, and if you remember here also we have one default value called as 0000. Save it, close, select future 2, click on open, select constant and provide constant fixed value 0000. Save it. Now if you go to any form, wherever you have to enter code combination, automatically system will take for company, department, project, future 1, future 2, what are the values we given. Only the blank field you find for account, just you have to enter the account. That's how it works. Now we'll go and see that. Go to inventory. Okay, here to find our inventory organization, the navigation is setup, organizations, organizations, setup, organizations, organizations. Our inventory organization name is ERP3, item master inventory. Then say OK, click on find. Now we have to set up inventory information as we discussed, right? We have to set inventory information. Let's go and do it. Click on others, select inventory information and say OK, and provide unique identification code for this inventory. I'll just give a name as item master inventory or item master or master inventory, anything you can write. So master inventory organization. Okay, master inventory or item master inventory, anything you can write. Okay, any code you can give, but that should be in 3 digits. So item master organization name, what we are creating, that is item master only, so the same name we have to provide, that is ERP3 item master inventory. Select your workday calendar, ERP3 ERP WDC, this is the name we given. Then go to the next tab, costing information. Here select what are the costing method organization follows. That method you can select here, say organization following standard costing. Okay, and here you can provide the material account. See here, now the chart of accounts structure level, chart of accounts level, for each segment we given constant value which is existed value for the particular segment within the value set. So now if I click on LOV, see what happens, it will take automatically the same. Now I don't need to enter every time. If I want to change, I can change. If I want to take different department, I can change it. I can override. But whatever I given as constant, it is taken. Now the time I can reduce in the process of selecting the values. I'll select the right account based on which field I am entering. Okay. So account. Okay. So here account is material account. Search for it. This is the account you have to select, inventory material value. Just say OK. Now go to next tab. Okay, go to next tab. These are the different features related to inventory application. The starting revision number you may provide, or else system is taking 0, you may accept, nothing wrong. And here starting serial number you can provide. This is serial control and serial numbering, separate feature we have in inventory, but we don't need to worry about it. We have to make sure that the mandatory fields we are filling. I'll give 1. You don't need to worry about that feature. The next tab is ATP pick item sourcing. The current tab is revision, lot, serial, and LPN. These all are different features. For all those features related controls we can set up here. But now we don't need to worry about it. Our target is just completing this setup. May not be with detailed meaning. Okay. So ATP pick item sourcing. Here no field is mandatory. Good. Then just click on this arrow option, which will give drop down values. So here we just given the inventory parameters already. Under costing information we given the costing method and we given the material account, and the revision lot we given some number, ATP pick, nothing is mandatory. Now just go to inter org information. The other tab we have as other accounts. Just I'm selecting inter org information, so nothing is mandatory. The final tab is other accounts. Here we have to provide few mandatory accounts. Provide all these accounts. Already we have all these accounts as a part of our operations account value set. So the first account is purchase price variance. When we are working on the process, I'll tell you what is the purpose of this account. Even if I'm explaining now, it may not be more meaningful. Just in the process, just I'll give you what is the purpose, where it will reflect, in which process we'll talk on that. So provide account called as, just in the based on label. The label name is purchase price variance. Search with the same purchase. So this is account purchase price variance, and say okay, simple. And next account is invoice price variance. So search with the same. Invoice price variance. And inventory AP accrual account. So AP accrual account, seems to that account is not available. Okay, rent accrual, adjustment accrual, clearing account. Okay, we don't have with the same name, but we don't need to worry about it. When we are just working in that project, we'll make sure that all accounts are available. Now nothing wrong if you select some relevant account. Okay. Basically, but when you're practicing, you can add an account to our value set. Or else let me just do again. If I go back again, all I have to set. Let me take now, or later if you require, we'll change it. Not an issue. Here you have to select an account called as inventory AP accrual account. When you're creating this account, take account type as liability account. Take account type as liability. Select. So let's fill mandatory account because this complete this definition related to inventory. Of course, it will be connected to purchasing also for the process. So here sales. Here sales nothing but sales revenue account. Okay, revenue we are getting from which sales activity. See here profit and loss accounts, sales and cost of goods sold account. So revenue account we have to provide. So in our chart of accounts, within the operations value set, operations account value set, for the revenue account, the series would be 4000. Just I am typing 4. This is all our revenue account. Revenue from hardware sales, revenue from support, revenue from consulting, revenue from training. You can select any one of the revenue account here, but reality the revenue account will be taken based on which transaction we are doing, what exactly we are doing. But as a default setup, you have to select any one of the revenue account here. I'm selecting here training account as my revenue account. Say okay, and provide cost of goods sold account, COGS account. COGS. Okay. I think cost of sales account you can provide, nothing but same. Cost of goods, so sales. So I'm just selecting this account. Say okay, and here provide deferred COGS account, cost of goods sold account only. Click on this, search for COGS now. Deferred COGS, this is the account we have to provide all these accounts here. Done. So these are the basic information we have to fill, okay, within the inventory information, which supports primarily inventory business process. So since it's more related to inventory, we are not focusing on all each and every point, but wherever this some accounts or process will connected with our financials, definitely we'll be discussing once we get into our financial related process. Now you can just save it. When you try to save, system will ask for some confirmation and it will give warning message. Let's see that. Save it. Control S. So what is the message? So within this inventory organization, we given the costing method as standard, right? Okay, the same system is giving the message. The organization costing method cannot be changed once cost enabled items have been assigned to the organization. Organization item master organization cannot be modified once the organization has other item child organizations. So what is the meaning of first statement? So we select a costing method. For now you can go and change it. But once you create items and assign those items to the inventory, you cannot go and change the costing method, because that will start that will start acting in the environment. What is the purpose we are selecting the costing method? So before you go and create items and do assign to the particular inventory, you have to change it if you want to change. And again here other point is you cannot change, okay, item master organization, okay, once the organization has other child organizations. This is a master, or else you may have some sub inventory, or this master may have some actual inventory association. In that process you cannot change it. Anyway, we no need to worry about it. We know what we have to select, the same we selected. So system is giving some warning message or note, later you cannot change after doing certain activities. It is saying okay, then you can just be done with this setup and close it. We completed inventory information setup for item master inventory. Done. And now the other setup we have to do is receiving information. Other setup is receiving information. Okay, so that we'll see in the tomorrow session. So any questions so far based on the today's session, please? So these setups and what we are working, it's not more related to finance. When we are attending, it will be a bit sore for us, but we have to bear and we have to wait for some time to see the sweetness of our financials. Any questions, please?
Lakshman, we selected the fields like application number generation and also contingent worker number generation as default from the business group.
Correct.
But when selecting the employee number, by default it is giving like 1. But in my requirement, I want to generate something like 100K, 1 lakh.
That,
So
yeah,
where I can set that?
that is possible. That we have to ask HRMS consultant. We are not experts in that. We never do that. Solution we have. You can set from where the number should be started, or else you can come up with some logic also. Something should come as a prefix. All these you can set, but here that is the standard functional how we have. As per the, if you set like that, client may not be happy. Client will be asking, this is a preference I have, this is from here the number need to be started. For that we have options. Okay, if that is available as standard functionality, the HRMS people will configure. If not possible, they can come up with some workaround. If workaround also doesn't support, they'll do customization, some programming they do, which will generate the number based on the logic what client is looking for.
Okay, got it. Yeah, in general, because basically the full-time employees having a different code and also the consultants might be having a different code. That's what.
Exactly. That is just default. But as per business requirement, the application is very much flexible to change the logic, which we call customization or workaround.
Okay, so basically those kind of things can be done by the HRMS consultant, not.
Yes. Any other questions?
Yes, Lakshman. Another question on that. So basically, the employee ID, whichever is generated, shall be unique, right, over the business group, right?
Correct.
So basically, my question is, suppose if there are two business groups, so then how will the uniqueness be there? Like for a specific business group, there should be uniqueness, or like for all of them, like how much of a business group one particular organization has,
Business
that kind of a thing.
unique business group. It's a specific to business group. Business group wise, it will be unique. Take simple example. This is a visual instance. Many business groups are there within that, but still we are creating our own business group. The number is starting from 1. It's a BG specific.
Okay, and one more question regarding the inventory creation. So basically, in the lot serials tab, so where does the serial like generation come into picture? Like, I mean, just I'm asking hypothetically. That's it.
Yeah,
Just project. Yes.
see, that is one of the functionality. We have a lot number generation, and when we are going to maintain the stock, serial numbering need to be generated for the stock which you are maintaining in the inventory. That we have to specify. Just that is a specification we are giving, but related to that we have to do required setups, whether the number need to be generated, what level the number need to be generated, inventory organization level or sub inventory level, what level, all the setups need to be done. These are the different features. So if you want to understand, because normally for finance point of view we don't require, if you want to understand more on that, already I told you, okay, you can open any form, help. But since that is not required for us, I'm not talking on that more to waste our time.
Yeah, I understand. Can you just go to that tab once if possible, Lakshman?
Yeah, already
There is a revision lot.
I'm there.
Okay. No. In the front end, not. I don't want the web page. Can you please go there? Yes. So yeah. So basically, see over here, lot control and all. It is given uniqueness, like it is none, right? But we do not have lot. I mean, for serial control, we do not have any such option, right? Like
See, that's
that's
the
what.
solution here. Lot control. This is one of the features. The uniqueness, no uniqueness. That has to be across the items. If you set across the item, that's how it has to be generated. And when you talk about serial number, we have different options. Uniqueness should be across the organizations, or within the inventory model and items, or within the organization within the inventory items, and generation model at what level all you can set up. See, in these classes, we
Okay.
don't need to talk on this because it's not inventory, but I'm not discouraging.
Yeah.
If you have some additional kind of interest where you might be working on those areas as per your current role, only the point is just you can click on this help and you can get it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's why I asked after the class actually,
yeah.
because the class got over.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree with you. Yeah, fine.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Lakshman.
Yeah, thank you. Simple option. Frankly speaking, I'm not expert in that because my is what my experience is the finance only. I know the basic things what we should know when we are working as a financial consultant. On that I can help you. If you are expecting some
Yeah.
beyond that, as per your current role in the current company, the best thing is you can go to so and so form and you can click on help. That's how you can try from your end. That may be good learning for you.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Sure.
Fine.
Thank you, Lakshman.
Thank you. So, any other questions, please? Fine. Seems no questions, then we can connect tomorrow same time.
Lakshman, one final question I have. In the business group again, business group info, we have given certain text fields like job text field and
I'm sorry, just I muted because I can hear a lot of noise. I cannot accept that. I'm really sorry to say that because we're recording these sessions. Many other participants are there. That may not be accepted by many other guys. I can accept, but other participants generally don't accept. Please don't mind. So just give me 1 second. If others doesn't have any questions, I'll stop the recording. You can ask me that question. Please don't mind. Any other questions from others? Fine. Seems to no questions. Anyway, I'm going to stop the recording. You can ask me that any question you have.